There was once a king, and he had a queen, and they had 19 children and were always having more. 17 of these children took care of the baby, and Alicia, the eldest, took care of them all. One day the king was going to the office when he stopped at the fishmonger's to buy 1.5 pounds of salmon, which the queen had requested him to send home. Mr. Pickles, the fishmonger, said, "Certainly, sir. Good morning, sir." The king went on towards the office in a melancholy mood, for quarter day was such a long way off, and several of the dear children were growing out of their clothes. He'd not gone far when Mr. Pickles' errand boy came running up after him, and said, "Sir, you didn't notice the old lady in our shop." "What old lady?" inquired the king. "I saw none." Now the king had not seen any old lady, because she had been invisible to him, though visible to Mr. Pickles' boy. Just then the old lady came trotting up. "King Watkins the First, I believe," she said. "Watkins," replied the king, "is my name." "Papa, if I'm not mistaken, of the beautiful Princess Alicia," said the old lady. "And of 18 other darlings," replied the king. "Listen, you are going to the office," said the old lady. It instantly flashed upon the king that she must be a fairy, or how could she know that? "You are right," said the old lady, answering his thoughts. "I am the good fairy Grand Marina. When you return home to dinner, politely invite the Princess Alicia to have some of the salmon you bought just now." "It may disagree with her," said the king. The old lady became very angry, so that the king was quite alarmed, and humbly begged her pardon. "Don't be greedy. I think you want it all yourself," said the old lady. The king hung his head. "Be good then," said the fairy Grand Marina. "When the Princess Alicia agrees to eat the salmon, you will find she will leave a fishbone on her plate. Tell her to dry it and to rub it and to polish it until it shines like mother of pearl, and to take care of it as a present from me." "Is that all?" asked the king. "Don't be impatient, sir," returned the fairy Grand Marina. "Don't catch people short before they've done speaking. Just the way with you grown-up persons, you're always doing it." The king again hung his head and said he wouldn't do so any more. "Be good then," said the fairy Grand Marina. "Tell the Princess Alicia, with my love, that the fishbone is a magic present which can only be used once, but that it will bring her that once whatever she wishes for, provided she wishes for it at the right time. That is the message. Take care of it." With those words, Grand Marina vanished, and the king went on till he came to the office. There he wrote and wrote, till it was time to go home again. Then he invited the Princess Alicia to partake of the salmon, as the fairy had told him. And when she'd enjoyed it very much, he saw the fishbone on her plate, and he delivered the fairy's message. And the Princess Alicia took care to dry the bone and to rub it, and to polish it till it shone like mother of pearl. Now when the queen was going to get up in the morning, she said, "Oh, dear me, my head, my head," and then she fainted away. The Princess Alicia, who happened to be looking in at the door, was very alarmed when she saw her royal mamma in this state, but remembering where the smelling bottle was, she fetched it and held it to the queen's nose. After that she got some water and wetted the queen's forehead. The good queen was very ill indeed, for a long time, but the Princess Alicia kept the 17 young princes and princesses quiet, and dressed and undressed the baby, and made the kettle, and heated the soup, and swept the hearth, and poured out the medicine, and nursed the queen, and did all that ever she could, and was as busy as busy could be. For there were not many servants at that palace, because the king was short of money. But on the morning when the queen fainted away, where was the magic fishbone? Why, there it was in the Princess Alicia's pocket. She'd almost taken it out to bring the queen to life again, when she put it back and looked for the smelling bottle. Princess Alicia often kept watch by herself in the queen's room, but every evening while the illness lasted, she sat there watching with the king. "Alicia," said the king one evening. "Yes, Papa?" "What has become of the magic fishbone?" "In my pocket, Papa." "I thought you'd lost it." "Oh, no, Papa." "Or forgotten it?" "No, indeed, Papa." Another time the baby fell under the grate, The 17 young princes and princesses were used to it, for they were almost always falling under the grate or down the stairs, but the baby was not used to it yet, and it gave him a swelled face and a black eye. The 17 young princes and princesses, who cried at everything that happened, cried and roared, but the Princess Alicia quietly called to them to be still on account of the Queen, who was fast getting well. And she said, "Hold your tongues, you wicked little monkeys, every one of you, while I examine the baby." Then she examined the baby and found that he hadn't broken anything, and she held a cold iron to his poor dear eye and smoothed his poor dear face, and he presently fell asleep in her arms. Then she said to the 17 princes and princesses, "I'm afraid to lay him down yet, in case he should wake and feel pain. Be good, and you shall all be cooks." They jumped for joy when they heard that. So to one she gave the barley, and to one she gave the herbs, and to one she gave the turnips, and to one she gave the carrots, and to one she gave the onions, and to one she gave the spice box, till they were all cooks and all running about at work. Soon the broth was done, and the baby woke up smiling like an angel. Then the Princess Alicia said, "After dinner we will make him a nest on the floor in the corner, and the baby shall see a dance of 18 cooks." That delighted the young princes and princesses, and they ate up all the broth and washed up all the plates and dishes and cleared away. Then they and the Princess Alicia danced a dance of 18 cooks before the angelic baby. And so once more the Princess Alicia saw her father standing in the doorway looking on. And he said, "What have you been doing, Alicia?" "Cooking and contriving, Papa." "What else have you been doing, Alicia?" "Keeping the children happy, Papa." "Where is the magic fishbone, Alicia?" "In my pocket, Papa." "I thought you'd lost it." "Oh, no, Papa." "Or forgotten it?" "No, indeed, Papa." The king then sighed so heavily and seemed so low-spirited that the 17 princes and princesses crept quietly out of the kitchen. "What is the matter, Papa?" said the Princess Alicia. "I'm dreadfully poor, my child." "Have you no money at all, Papa?" "None, my child." "Is there no way of getting any, Papa?" "No way," said the king. "I have tried very hard, and I have tried always." "Papa," said Alicia, "when we've tried very hard, and tried always, we must have done our very, very best." "No doubt, Alicia." "When we have done our very, very best, Papa, and that is not enough, then I think the right time must have come for asking help of others." This was the very secret connected with the magic fishbone which she'd found out for herself from the good fairy Grand Marina's words. So she took out of her pocket the magic fishbone, and she gave it one little kiss and wished it was quarter day. And immediately it was quarter day, and the king's quarter's salary came rattling down the chimney and bounced into the middle of the floor. Immediately afterwards the good fairy Grand Marina came riding in a carriage and four peacocks, with Mr. Pickle's boy up behind dressed in silver and gold. Down he jumped and handed Grand Marina out. "Alicia, my dear," she said, "how do you do?" The Princess Alicia embraced her, and then Grand Marina turned to the king and said rather sharply, "Are you good?" The king said he hoped so. "I suppose you know the reason now why my goddaughter here did not apply to the fishbone sooner," said the fairy. The king made a shy bow. "Ah, but you didn't then," said the fairy. The king made her a shyer bow. "Be good then," said the fairy, "and live happily ever afterwards." Then Grand Marina waved her fan, and the queen came in most splendidly dressed, and the 17 young princes and princesses came in newly fitted out from top to toe. After that, the fairy tapped the Princess Alicia with her fan, and she appeared exquisitely dressed like a little bride with a wreath of orange flowers and a silver veil. Grand Marina then turned to the king and queen and said, "We are going in search of Prince Certain Personio. The pleasure of your company is requested at church in half an hour precisely." So she and the Princess Alicia got into the carriage. Prince Certain Personio was sitting by himself. When he saw the carriage, it occurred to him that something uncommon was going to happen. "Prince," said Grand Marina, "I bring you your bride." The moment the fairy said these words, Prince Certain Personio's jacket and corduroys changed to peach-bloom velvet, and his hair curled, and a cap and feather flew in like a bird and settled on his head. The marriage was beautiful beyond expression, and Grand Marina gave a magnificent wedding feast afterwards, in which there was everything to eat and everything to drink. Prince Certain Personio made a speech, and everybody cried, "Hip, hip, hooray!" Grand Marina announced to the king and queen that in the future there would be 8 quarter days in every year, except in leap year, when there would be 10. She turned to Certain Personio and Alicia and said, "My dears, you will have 35 children, and they will all be good and beautiful. 17 of your children will be boys, and 18 will be girls. The hair of your children will curl naturally. They will never have measles, and will have recovered from whooping cough before being born.